So in this week's video, I wanted to address a question that I've been getting quite a bit, and it's, what do I absolutely have to start making pens? Now that question, although seemingly simple, is huge. What you have to have versus what is out there is enormously vast. There's a lot of things you can make in your shop yourself or wherever you make stuff, and then you can buy the same kind of tool. So it really depends what you want to do to start. If you want to spend a lot of money, a little money, what kind of room you have to work with, and a lot of other factors play into that. So I'm going to try to explain a little bit here now. So one tool I would say you have to have, and this will be debated, is a lathe. I know there's jigs to turn on drill presses and other machines, and there's shopsmiths out there. But if you're going to make anything worthwhile and anything of any quality, I think you need to get a lathe. Now, that doesn't mean you need to go out and spend a ton of money, because there's a lot of options out there. I remember I got my first lathe. It was a really crappy lathe. I think I got it on Amazon or eBay. And it worked for a little while. And until I got to the level where I started to notice that the imperfections in the lathe and the lack of quality in the manufacturing of the lathe were starting to affect my pens, and that's when I started to look for a new lathe. It worked to get started and learn the processes, learn how things cut, learn how to build a pen. If you can avoid that, I would, definitely. What I would do, and it really depends on your time frame, if you have some time to wait, is look on Craigslist. I've seen a number of good lathes on Craigslist, and I just browse every now and then for fun. I picked up one of my lathes that I still have here, this Mercury Nova. I picked it up on Craigslist, and the beauty was, the guy was moving, so I got the lathe and a bunch of tools and even some wood for a really good price. So good I couldn't pass it up. I've kept that lathe since then, after using it for many years, to be my finishing lathe when I purchased this jet. So first and foremost, you got to get a lathe, but that doesn't mean you need to spend a ton of money. Definitely look around, browse the internet, talk to people. A lot of people buy stuff and then never use it. They may even loan it to you or give it to you if you know somebody that has one. So that would be step one. Next, you're going to need tools. There's a lot of options out there, and probably one of the better ones for a beginner is pick up a set. It's going to be a cheaper alternative. It's a cheaper tool, keep in mind. But it gives you a variety so you can get a feel for how all the different tools work. And then you can kind of get your favorites, and when you want to upgrade, you can, pick and choose what you upgrade. You don't have to buy a set of expensive tools. You just get the ones you like. When you're pen making, after you've progressed a little bit and are comfortable with the machine and the tools, these carbide bit tools are very popular. I use these a lot. Just they're so easy. You change the bit and they're sharp versus sharpening, so there's a lot of advantages, but not necessary in the beginning. Thirdly, I would say you need a set of pretty decent drill bits. Now, when you get drill bits for pen making, you can use a standard drill bit, but ideally you want to get a brad tip set, and this will make your life a lot easier. Drill bits are funny. A lot of the starter packages you'll see on some of the pen selling sites where you can get pen kits, the starter packages will come with a drill bit. Avoid those at all costs. They are junk typically. I've never gotten one that had a good bit in it. I would just buy a set of drill bits and then buy your kits and your parts how you want. Don't fall into the trap of those sets. Now, if the set is the same price as the kit, go for it, and you can see what I mean about the junk bits. But a good set of brad point bits goes a long way, and you really need good bits for getting your holes drilled with good tolerances for your tubes, because it will cause some problems if you have sloppy holes. The next thing you're going to want to get, and there again there's ways to avoid it. You can use other machines, but not knowing what you have, I would say, is a pen end mill like you see on the drill here. And what those kits come with is a variety of different shafts that you use on the same mill, so that you can true up your ends before you put them on the lathe. Those save you a lot of headache. If you want to make a jig for it, definitely do that. But if you're starting out and you can spend the extra, I don't even think they're that expensive, 20, 25 bucks, get one of those kits and it'll save you a lot of headache and it'll give you a true end. The next thing you're going to need is some sandpaper and micro mesh and different things like that. Now there again, you can get a set of micro mesh. It'll start with a pretty high grit. What I do for everything leading up to that is I go to a auto body paint store, and they have everything from 400 in sanding pads on up to 2,000, I believe, in a nice wet dry sanding pad. They come in sheets. They're a couple of bucks. Cut them up. Got a lot of pads for a good price. Then from there you go into your micro mesh and things. Check out my other videos because I did put up a micro meshing video if you have any questions on that, and I'll put a link below. But that is going to be key to get a good finish on your pen. Whether you're a beginner or advanced, you need those sanding pads. Next, you're going to need some adhesives. You're going to need some CA glue. Accelerator is always an option if you want to speed up the process, but I would recommend getting some thin and some thick. And if you have the money and want to spend it, go ahead and get some medium. But if you're only going to get two, get the thin and the thick. The reason being is I use the thick to glue in my tubes. I use the thin if I'm doing a CA finish for the first layer, and then I use thick. If I have the medium, I'll go ahead and put a couple of layers of that in there, but it's not necessary. So that is definitely the two I would start with. I probably would get some accelerator if I had some free cash versus getting the medium. If you order online, you can find some good places to get these larger. This is a 4.5 ounce bottle, and it'll last a long time depending on how much you're doing. But CA glue is, or some kind of adhesive, is a must. Okay, so what we've done is we've gone through the various steps. We're going to drill the blank, we're going to glue it in, we're going to true the ends, we're going to put it on the lathe, use the tools. When we're done, we're going to sand it and finish it. And now up to you. The advice I can't give is what pen you're going to make. Get a good quality pen kit and a good set of bushings and you're off to the races. One thing I will say about pen kits is the platings. And I've talked about this before in other videos. Platings makes a world of difference on the quality of what you're producing. If you buy a $2 pen kit, you're not going to make a $500 pen. However, if you're just starting out, get the $2 pen kits, the $5 pen kits, and they're great to practice on. You can use them, give them away, whatever you want. Now down the road, depending on what kind of blanks you're making and things, you may still use some of those kits. I still use some today on certain setups for the right look or the right cost for what I'm producing. So get some pen kits, get some bushings. If you've got the other tools, you're ready to go. Thanks for watching this video. If you like it, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. See you next time.